it's time for Christmas. Oh, it's time for us. Oh, it's time for Christmas. Don't you know? Oh, it's time for Christmas. Oh, it's time for us. Oh, it's time for Christmas. Don't you know?
Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Shaken Up Show, Playing Away. It's Christmas! How are you doing? Tonight's guest is Roy Mason, manager of Steeton AFC. But before we get to him, we've got a game against Steeton, 27th. It's our only festive game. It's not on Boxing Day. Get down, support the lads, make as much noise as possible. Our game after that is the 3rd of January away at Daisy Hill. Let's hope Boris doesn't slam the door and we get to watch these fixtures. But without further ado, Roy, welcome to the show. I've got my beer. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Johnny. How are you?
I am excellent, thank you. It's nearly Christmas. I've got a beer. It's a very small beer. I don't know where my wife's got these from. But, I'm getting into the spirit. So thank you very much for coming on to the show. I'll crack straight into the questions. Can you introduce yourself and tell us about your role at Steeton and how you got involved?
Yeah, my name's Roy Mason. I'm first team manager of Steeton. I've been at the club now for 20 years, of which 15 of those have been as first team manager. I joined really just as a player sort of coming towards the end of my career. Steeton as a club was starting to have a little bit of a resurgence. An old school friend of mine had taken over as first team manager. So I went in, played a few games. I just actually moved myself to Steeton, so it was handy for me locally as well. And then things progressed really, over the years. Ended up taking over as reserve team manager for a season, then the first team manager left, and I've had the job for 15 years now.
Fantastic. And I do believe, you've just won your 500th game? Is that right?
Yeah, last night we played Harrogate Railway, and that was my 500th game in charge as manager. So, an incredibly proud moment for me.
Fantastic. It's some tenure that. You don't get that much these days in football, do you?
No, you don't. And, I think I've been very grateful with the club that the club have let me pretty much manage things and push it on in the way I wanted to. So, I've had, chats with other clubs over the years, but really Steeton's been the place where I want to be and where I've really enjoyed things.
Fantastic. And for those not familiar with Steeton, can you tell us, obviously, where the club are located and what the stadium's called?
Well, Steeton itself is a small village which is 3 miles outside of Keighley. And the club actually played in Steeton from 1969 at Summerhill Lane until 4 years ago when we moved into the Northwest Counties. Initially, we moved there as a ground share with Keighley Cougars. And for the last 2 seasons, we've been playing at Marley Stadium in Keighley. And, that's our home now.
Fantastic. Am I right in thinking Marley Stadium is an artificial surface as well?
It is, yeah. It's a 4G pitch, but it's a brand new pitch. It was laid just 12 months ago. So I think we got about 2 games in on it before COVID curtailed last season. So, yeah, it feels like this is our first proper season playing at home, really.
Fantastic. Okay, so I ask this question every week. Some do, some don't. Have Steeton got a nickname?
We have, yeah, and I know the question to most people you ask, they say they haven't, but yeah, Steeton have. We nicknamed the chevrons.
Is that from the kit?
That's from the kit, yeah. We've worn Hummel kits now for about, I think, the past 12, 13 years, and it was one of the players just came up with it after the game, and he'd offered to do a newspaper article on a match report, and he put the name down as the chevrons, and the chevrons are stuck. I think like a lot of nicknames, you don't choose one, something just happens and it sticks with you. So it's synonymous really with the fact that we've always really worn Hummel kits.
Excellent. And that's an interesting fact, which leads me into my next question. Are there any interesting facts about Steeton as a club? Any notable players or games that have happened for the club in the history? Because I know you've been formed in 1905, so it's some history they've got.
Yeah, we've had some fantastic history. Probably the proudest moment for the club was when we reached the County Cup final in 2014 at Ellen Road. Unfortunately, we lost that day, but for us to actually appear in a cup final playing at Ellen Road, a lot of the lads at the time, myself, I hesitate to say isn't a Leeds fan, but a lot of the lads were Leeds fans, and it was a fantastic day for the club, to be playing in such a great stadium in front of a huge crowd, because I think there was about 1,500 there, which, all right, for Ellen Road, it's not a lot, but when you're used to playing in front of about 10 people, it certainly was a big crowd for the lads. So that's probably been one of the best days in the club's history. In terms of notable players, probably one of the most notable players we've had is a guy called Keith Bailey. Keith was at Bradford City, but has also played with people like Rodney Marsh at Tampa Bay Rowdies. He was part of the North American soccer scene in the late 70s, early 80s. Keith then came back to Steeton, where he was from originally, and Keith played for us sort of in the late 80s and early 90s.
Excellent. Fantastic. Now, you are one of the... Well, no, we've played everybody now, but... you're one of the few teams we've played twice, because we met last season as well, in last season's short season. Now, you give us two very good, very entertaining games. Last season at the Newven, it was our very first game in the North West Counties League, and we just snatched it in the 95th minute. That game becomes synonymous with Tony Whitehead's absolute screamer that he scored from about 30 yards out. It actually... inspired some artwork by one of our fans. There is an X-rated version as well that says Thunder Bastard, but YouTube might demonetize me if I put that one on. And it was a very good game, I was just a spectator at that game. It was before I'd started volunteering, and I was stood right behind that goal when that went in. But you really kept us going right till the very end in that game. And it was a very similar story when we met this season as well. It was 4-3, lots of goals, lots of attacking football. So can we expect the same again when we meet on the 27th?
Well, I'd like to think so, but I was talking to a few of your supporters last week, and we were laughing and joking, saying that we've had 12 games in the first two games. It'll probably be a 0-0 now and a bit of a ball draw, but I don't think it will be, because given the style of football that both teams like to play, I'm sure there'll be goals. I think the first time we played you in the first season, obviously we didn't really know what to expect. It was the first game for you guys. I think really the aim of the game for us was to try and keep things a bit tight and try and frustrate Bury a little bit, maybe hit on the break. Whereas the second game we were a little bit more expansive, and we tried to attack a little bit more, and we were a little bit unlucky. But we like to play attacking football, because I think that's the way that we set ourselves up to do, and I think that's where the strengths of the team is going forward. So, we're going to have a good goal, and hopefully the spectators will come down. They'll enjoy another close game, and with a bit of luck, maybe that we can be the ones that get a last-minute gasp winner this time.
No, definitely. I mean, with last-minute winners, you can never count them out when Tom Greaves is on the pitch. That guy can score from nowhere, and that's what happened, isn't it? I think it went in off his thigh, if I'm right.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, the first game we played, the scoreline suggests the game was a little bit closer than it was, because Bury had quite a lot of chances, and we did ride our luck for a lot of periods of the game there as well. And you could see, to be honest, once Tom had equalised, I said to the coaching staff, they'll go on and win this now, because Bury had big momentum that day. And of course, Tom then popped up at the far post and just bundled it over the line. But, Bury have got a lot of good players, and, I've watched you a couple of times this season. Always been impressed with the strike force, Aidan Chippendale, Lewis Gilboy and Abasota. They're going to cause teams a lot of problems. So, we need to be on our game. But like I say, I think we've got players at the other end that can cause teams problems as well.
Well, he was claiming that goal last week, Chippy. Even though the game got abandoned and it went in off one of their defenders, he was still claiming that goal. It was good to have him back, because he's been out injured, believe it or not. It's a big miss, really big miss. He's a big part of the way we play. And talking about big part of the way we play, the same to you, really. Who should our fans watch when they watch Steeton play? Who are your sort of your talisman? Who's entertaining to watch when they're on the ball?
Well, I think, to be fair, we've got a lot of good players, and without singling any players out, I mean, it's no secret, and you have to look at the goal scoring charts this season, that Cale Price is right up there. He's second top scorer in the league behind Ash Flynn at Golka. So, Cale's had a really good season, but I think a lot of it is his partnership with Andy Briggs up top as well. It's the classic big lad and small lad combination, and they work really well together. But, we've got a lot of good players throughout the side, right through from the back four through the midfield as well. So, whoever plays against Bury, I'm sure that they'll do the best, and they'll put on a good show.
Excellent. We're really looking forward to it. Obviously, you've done your scouting trip. You know who to watch out for on ourselves. So I'm going to go to my final question. I'm going to ask it because it's Christmas. And I know managers don't like doing this. I get told off every time I ask a manager this after I've asked it. What do you think the score's going to be?
It's a difficult one because no manager's going to make a bold prediction. But look, and the only prediction I'll give you is that, we're going to have a good goal. I think it'll be a great game. It could go either way. The first two games have been really close in terms of the scoreline. And I think it will be again, so I think there's a little bit of mutual respect between the two clubs. And, certainly when I was at Campion last week, talking to a lot of Bury fans, they were looking forward to the game because I think they've been really impressed with the way Steeton have approached both of the games. So, who's to say maybe this time it might not be third time lucky for us.
No, definitely. Well, I say it's definitely going to be a close game. My prediction's probably a draw. I'm not ready to let go of that unbeaten in the league yet, so I'm going to say a draw. I'm not going to give it you. No, we're really looking forward to it. And that wraps it up really. So I'm going to say thank you very much for coming on. And
thanks for having me, Johnny.
Once again, congratulations on the 500.
Thank you very much.
It's to another 500 for you.
Well, I don't know whether I'll get to another 500. I'm not sure my wife would let me do another 500 games, but no, I certainly appreciate it. And, I'm looking forward to game 501.
It's got to be some sort of record, though, in the pyramid from step 6 to the top, longest tenured manager. It's got to be up there.
I think within the North West Counties at the moment, Brent Peters is a longer serving manager than me at Bacup. So,
Brent's been there since the dawn of time, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I forgot about Brent.
20 years, so,
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Brent texted me the other day and I said I'm a mere novice compared to Brent, So, I think I've got a long way to get to Brent, but no, it's definitely up there as one of the longest ones, I think.
Well, congratulations on it. And thank you very much again for coming on. Thank you to Roy for coming on the show this evening. Really informative, really great to find out about what to expect when we when we play this weekend in our third meeting with Steeton. So before I go, I'd just like to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Don't get too drunk or do. Who am I to tell you not to? Get on shop.buryafc.uk with all those pennies that Santa brings you. Buy some merch and I'll see you on the 27th.